It's time for more My Hero Academia. This is episode 4 of season 7. I'm so happy to be jumping into this. I love this show so very much, and I always, whenever I sit down, I can't wait to do more. Is it actually episode 4? I'm just gonna make sure that I think so, right? Wait, no, episode 5. Whoops. Episode 5 of season 7. I wrote it down on my book wrong, but I'm really excited because this show is like one of my favorite shows ever, and season 7 has been great so far. I mean, the whole show has been great so far. So I'm just excited to jump into it. I mean, we're getting into end game stuff now, like really important shit. So I don't know exactly where I don't know if we start the battle today or if we do more setup, but I mean, I kind of whatever MHA does, I tend to end up liking. So let's jump in and find out. Make sure to support the video if you can, liking, commenting, and subscribing, and go to my Patreon account if you want the full-length reaction, as well as early access, exclusive videos, and more stuff for both this channel and my Gent Watches One Piece channel. So without further ado, let's jump into this season 7, episode 5 of My Hero Academia. Oh god, this is Toga's house.
Stop this!
Oh.
No, control yourself! I'm telling you this for your own good!
Vampire family. Oh.
I wish I was a little birdie.
More Toga backstory.
Treat to feel like Kay. Her dimples are adorable when she smiles. After a while, it starts pecking at my belly button. And pretty soon, it stands dyed red, just like a little birdie.
Oh my god.
Cute too.
The way she says this like it's exciting. Something that would be a nightmare for most people.
I can't believe you're sentimental. I think a psycho like you had actual feelings.
Of course she does.
I'm curious what happened to my old house.
She does things based on her feelings all the time.
Don't know what you mean.
I mean, are you ready to end this?
Skipping away.
We should laugh, don't you think?
Oh my god. He's just gonna burn down the house.
Dummy, you're gonna get us caught.
Oh,
That was nice of you, though.
Nah,
oh, okay.
heroes don't have numbers or time. I'm only nice when it causes Endeavor more suffering. You should use it. Your power doesn't just transform your appearance.
Yep.
As long as you... I swept the blood of someone I know you truly loved. Twice, the real one. Sad man's parade.
Oh my god.
Let's turn his torment and grief for our enemies.
What? She has twice his blood.
Ever.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't even think about that. Oh, she's holding the blood there. Oh.
You okay?
Oh. Oh, God.
Many heteromorphs now wear it in reverence to you.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Why they'd idolize me? Common rioters need to hear from you.
Yeah, you gotta be a
This is your
spokesperson.
destiny. Pull the trigger in Redestro's place.
I want to help. For your sake.
Okay.
Yes, that to become somebody else's hero.
Let you down. Oh, it's all in English. Cool. Okay, this is what the inside of the barrier looks like. Could be worse.
So chaos.
Oh my god.
Ensure that Izuku Doria is not welcome within their stronghold.
Oh, I fucking hate that. That's so annoying.
Should go to bed promptly. Our youthful resilience is our strength. So we
I
must
like his new
ensure that we're
costume.
taking care of our mind and brush your teeth. Dental hygiene is no joke.
I don't have enough.
I'm gonna take the world's hottest bath. Sounds nice.
Hardly said a word to each other.
Aw. You two need to have like a date night.
I haven't even gotten to thank her for what she did.
Shit!
I am here again! Entering
Oh my.
chill way!
Not now.
You sound energetic.
Is it that obvious?
Tsukauchi, we're only telling select people what I'm about to share. It's time we discuss the future of our world.
Okay.
The final battle plan.
That's nerve-wracking.
We're grateful for all your support!
Wait, you're leaving, Mr. Deku?
and clean myself up. Now it's time for me to continue the fight.
He's got this. Look how much better he looks now than he did before.
So now our future is guaranteed.
Yeah, it's great for you, man. Aww. Oh my god. I love this. Oh, their parents. Aww. That's cute. Harry. Harry and Kota.
A newly built fortress they were calling Troy.
Troy?
Thanks to some
Do you call that makeshift?
Ectoplasm, we were able to get this puppy
I guess,
pretty
yeah.
damn quick.
All right.
It's no find your room.
This was definitely inspired by our dorms.
Wow, yeah. Nice of them to build a fancy coffin for us.
That's sad. Oh, no. Translated as "Go talk to her."
Hi, Deku.
Hey, listen. I wanted to say thank you for that.
Oh, there's no need. That was nothing. But it's nice to hear you still obsess over every little detail. I think I'm probably pretty weird.
No, you're not. You're strong and brave, and that hairstyle looks great on you. And you're kind and cool and nice to everybody.
That's not what I meant. When all of a sudden, I started thinking about Himiko Toga. And during Gigantomachia's rampage,
It's really affected her for a while.
It seemed like Cummins was kind of surprised by her reaction.
Yeah.
Killed and stolen joy from countless people. Forgiving her isn't an option anymore.
There's a parallel here between this and Deku and
I have
Shigaraki.
no idea what the kinds of things she might mistakenly think are true. Anyway, that's the reason I came out here.
Oh, you're so sweet,
Don't forget the
Uraraka.
horrible scenes.
Shigaraki has done terrible, unspeakable things.
Okay, they're straight up talking about the parallel.
I don't think I can ignore what's hiding deep inside his heart.
It's why you guys are heroes. You want to protect and save
Well then,
people.
I guess we're both kind of weird.
I'm sorry.
I really
if made
loved
you
that
guys
little
worry.
moment.
I have no idea what kind of stuff Toya likes.
Definitely udon. The kind that burns your mouth.
Maybe I'll have to eat some with him.
That's fun that Bakugo's in that room having that conversation with him.
We'll stop them.
Oh, I love Uraraka so much. I mean, clearly, you can see. She's my favorite character.
I can't quite remember what.
Oh,
I
so
do
there's a
recall
quirk he
that
has.
its original owner was a rather dull man. The lie-detecting quirk will help to ensure my victory. There is no... Be a good dear and give me his contact information. We'll sort out...
Thanks for looking out for him, Uncle.
Here we
You never know what the
go.
future holds.
No lies or ill will. She's clear. Even if she's interrogated later for some reason. See you soon.
Oh my god.
The value of the yen suddenly tanked. Many Japanese companies are declaring bankruptcy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Meanwhile, when states lose the ability to enforce law and policies, people struggle to survive. War and poverty run rampant. So everywhere will abandon each other because they need to prioritize their own safety.
That's true.
Imagine initiative and assume control over all that exists.
Oh my god.
Our world will fall off balance.
It sounds bad.
Sounds really bad.
We wouldn't allow that to happen. We're still here defending Japan.
That's why you're here. This can't be allowed to keep going.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I had no choice.
Yep.
I want to protect the
Here it
bond
is.
of
Here
our-
it is.
Excellent job, my conniving little star. I imagine you were scared to betray your friends. It
Well, I
can
think
be
this is
so
still all part of the
distressing to
plan.
have someone... Your fortitude is impressive.
Oh my god.
And the speech about my ultimate... Did your mommy and daddy explain that?
Distressing. You can't imagine, dear uncle. I won't betray
Oh!
Your acting was crazy realistic, Aoyama.
I'm sure it was believable who we
Here we go.
No, I was just following your lead. Your tears really pushed it.
All right,
over the
compliment each other later.
To be included. I will stand up and fight all for one.
Hell yeah.
How disappointing. And when talking with his parents, I could detect no malice.
No deceit.
How did they hide matters not? However,
All for
annoying
one's
this may be,
current
one
mask
for
looks
all is
awesome.
in front of me now. They won't be able to help you with any expediency. You're
Oh my
alone.
god.
They haven't even noticed that I brought so many.
Oh my god. This is so fucked. Holy fuck.
What do you think?
Oh, Kurogiri's warp?
This will save me the trouble of finding him.
Is that Monoma?
Papa and my mom told me
It was
this too.
hard to see.
They said there's something, anything, and that's the world finding out that Japan isn't finished.
Fat Gum's here.
Is the day you're defeated.
Oh my god. There's no way it's over. Oh my god. Okay, so, first thing I did was, because I had in my notes, the lie detection quirk owner. I wrote that down because in that conversation, in that talk that All For One was having, he was saying, oh, I got the lie detector quirk from someone pretty uninteresting a while back, but their descendants have turned out to be more interesting and backed me into a corner. And I was like, I was trying to think, like, whose ancestors, or, you know, not ancestors, I guess, but, you know, whose higher generations could have had a lie detecting quirk, and it's someone that we know who's worked with All Might. And I was trying to figure it out. I was thinking Deku for a bit, like, oh, is Deku's, you know, what is it, grandparents or whatever? Like, did they have a lie detection quirk or something? I was trying to figure it out. But then I remembered we have seen a lie detector quirk, not like maybe not in the main series. I can't remember if it is. I don't think it's been in the main series, but in the spin-off series, My Hero Academia Vigilantes. So I went to my bookshelf and got my Vigilantes copies, and I kept like flipping through the books until I found that quirk polygraph, Tsukauchi's sister, Makoto Tsukauchi, right? So I think that means he's referring to, and that makes sense, right? He's saying that their descendants have been more interesting and worked with All Might to back me into a corner. That's what Tsukauchi did. He worked with All Might to you know, to find their base and to like actually trap them and got rid of huge parts of their plans. Tsukauchi's a major force in this battle. He still continues to be. And we know that, you know, his family has lie detector quirks as part of their lineage. So very cool. That's a cool little tie-in. I wonder if they're gonna like mention that more in future episodes, or if that was just like a one-off little, like, if you get what that line's referencing, then great, and if you don't, then you don't. But very cool. If you guys haven't read Vigilantes, it's a lot of fun. It's a great series. I read the entire thing. I own the first, like, I don't know, 8 or 9 volumes or whatever. And then after that, I just read it online. But it's a really good series, and I'm so glad that I have some of these physical copies so that I can do stuff like this. And I like these covers and stuff as well. They're just something about that. It's like superhero-y and nice, and I want this to be animated one day because I want to see my girl right here. I want to see her animated. Please, and thank you. Anyway, so that was the first thing I wanted to talk about because it was fresh on my mind. But good episode, really good shit. I love that we're really getting into it now. I mean, the end of that episode, they all portaled in. I'm just gonna make sure. So because I said, was that Monoma? And it felt like Monoma was like almost the odd one out. But if it was Monoma, I guess there's something that makes sense. So I'm just double checking. I'm scrolling to that part of the episode. Yeah, it is Monoma. So I assume, I'm just seeing if it makes sense with the rules in my head. I assume that means Monoma is using Kurogiri's quirk, right? That's gotta be what it is. Because it's not like we can use Kurogiri's, Kurogiri's not like just like on our side working with us right now. So I was kind of like, wow, what the hell? We're using Kurogiri's quirk? But then I kind of just accepted it. And then I saw Monoma and I went, why is he there? Like, I mean, obviously he could be there because he's very useful, but using him to warp in there, that makes a lot of sense. And him being on the battlefield, I mean, if he's if he is effective enough, he could do some crazy shit. I wonder. Oh well, actually no, never mind. I'm. No, okay. Here's a curious thing, like right. So Monoma, let's say this isn't gonna happen, but let's talk about it anyway. Let's say Monoma approached All For One, managed to touch him, and like took his quirk, right, or copied his quirk. So we know that Monoma, when he steals like sort of stockpiling energy quirks, like quirks that require something, some sort of fuel, he doesn't copy the fuel, but he copies the quirk itself, right? We know that. So when he took One For All, he essentially took the ability to, you know, pass on his power and build up power over time and stockpile it or whatever. But that didn't matter because he didn't have anything to stockpile. Like he didn't have any energy or anything. If he took All For Ones, I imagine the quirk he would be stealing is the ability to steal quirks. That would be what he was stealing. Again, this isn't gonna happen. But what if he was able to steal or copy the stealing quirk and then use that to steal All For One? What would happen? Because like theoretically, couldn't it work? He copies the quirk and then uses it to steal All For One. Then when the copied version of All For One goes away, then like all he has left is the stolen version of All For One, which he would be able to keep theoretically. I don't know. And if he had done that, right, then I imagine All For One still probably has all these quirks in his body, but I'm guessing All For One, the quirk, adjusts the body to be able to handle multiple quirks, right? That's what I'm guessing, because that just feels like that makes sense and how it would have to work. So if that would be the case, then his body maybe no longer would be able to handle those quirks, and he wouldn't be able to control his body super well anymore and would probably just die. I don't know. And then Monoma would have All For One, which is just like a even more insane version of his power. It'd be kind of cool because then he'd have copy and All For One. And so it's like, I can either steal your quirk or I can take it temporarily, you know? It's crazy to think about, but it's like, it's such a weird, crazy plan that I feel like the show wouldn't even bother to touch on this stuff because it feels like that you'd be opening a huge can of worms in figuring that out. Plus, I don't think Monoma can get a chance to get up close and copy All For One's quirk anyway. Him just warping everyone there is good enough. That's helpful enough. Thank you, Monoma. We appreciate it. Man, I loved that talk between Deku and Uraraka. I mean, as I've said, I'm a huge Uraraka fan, and I always want more Uraraka content. Every time she's on screen, it's a good day. But having that moment, I mean, they got to actually talk with one another. I love oh no, why can't I remember her name? I love her. Uraraka's voice actor, Lucy Christian, that's what it is. I love Lucy Christian's voice so much, and her, like, the way she does Uraraka as well, she always does it with a sort of softness and a hesitance to her voice that I think is just adorable. And so, like, it makes my heart flutter when, like, Deku and Uraraka are talking, because, like, I think they both like each other a lot. I mean, Uraraka obviously has a crush on Deku. They haven't hidden that at all. Deku has a crush on hero work and stuff, right? He loves being a hero. But, you know, as the series has gone on, I do think he's cared about Uraraka more and more. And it feels like they are sort of like an endgame couple the more that they're building this thing up. But they also don't, like, they don't do it in a way that they don't tend to give them, like, you know, close to kissing moments or anything like that. You know, they play the relationship pretty lightly, which I think some people really appreciate, because some people don't like that sort of, like, romance stuff for a series like this. I don't mind it. I quite like it if it's done nicely. I think genuinely that romance can be a great addition to a story. I think a lot of people were most annoyed by it when it sort of like takes away from the main plot because it takes so much time with like unnecessary drama and stuff. But I think if there's like a nice building of a relationship throughout the series, and then at some point maybe they get into a relationship or whatever, that's kind of perfect in my mind, because it just makes sense for the characters. And I think, you know, characters having romantic partners, like people having romantic partners, is a big part of people's lives, but also it doesn't have to change who they are or what their goals are or anything. So I think it's a nice thing to sprinkle on top to build character. But I feel like if Uraraka and Deku ever happens, it'd be like a literal last episode type thing. But I feel like it's just, you know, they're just going to imply it or something. Even though I just want it to be like fully explored. I just want it to actually happen on screen. We get to see it. We get to see their relationship blossom a little bit. Like, because I just love, you know, to see our characters happy together. I want to see that stuff. But yeah, anyway, I just love that little moment between them. But I also love the parallels that they had between, like, Uraraka's thinking a certain way about Toga and Deku's thinking that same way about Shigaraki, where they understand that they are horrible and that they have done horrible things and murdered a lot of people and destroyed so much, and they're doing this evil plan. And yet at the same time, they also acknowledge that there was something, like, society did let them down. I mean, the episode's called Let You Down. Society did let them down and didn't foster them properly, and they didn't develop properly. Like, they didn't get the proper love and respect and care that maybe would have prevented this from happening. And because of that, like, they went down this path. So they are also, on top of being criminals, they are also victims. You can be both. And it doesn't mean we should absolve them of their crimes, but maybe it does mean, like, we can capture them and get them through some form of heavy therapy. Get them to, like, work through their crimes, as well as hopefully find a life where they actually have some love and respect. And I think that's really cool that they're doing that, like, with Uraraka and Toga. And because, like, the Uraraka and Toga thing last season was actually very sad. And I mean, especially when I rewatched it. I've rewatched that season like 2 or 3 times now, I think. And especially on rewatches, like, that scene is particularly heartbreaking, knowing that, like, Uraraka, you know, for her, she was doing what she thought was right, and she is essentially shit-talking this villain, but in a way that's, like, trying to get through to her that, like, obviously what you're doing is wrong, you piece of shit. Like, stop trying to make it sound justified. But with Toga, she legit, like, I think Uraraka kind of thought she was, like, taunting her, and in Uraraka's mind, it's like, well, obviously this is wrong, and you know it's wrong, and you're just, like, playing with me. But in Toga's mind, she legitimately doesn't understand why all of this is wrong, and what the moral difference is between them. And that's because she hasn't properly been taught it. She doesn't properly understand it, you know, like, she didn't have a proper upbringing. And so Uraraka, I like that in this episode she was saying, like, I said things that I thought were obvious, but it actually really upset her. And I like that sticks with her, you know, because she wasn't just blinded by rage. And she actually, it seemed like in this episode, was going to let that feeling go. Like, she was looking out on the thing and she said that, but then she was like, but I'm going to stay focused and I'm going to not let that hold me back or whatever. But then Deku says, no, I get what you mean, which I think is a good way to go, like, hold on to that feeling. Like, that feeling that you have of, like, Toga might not be just monster all the way through. Keep that in there, because I have it too, and I have it with someone who's arguably a bigger monster in Shigaraki. Keep that feeling within you, because we're heroes. I mean, what we would like to do is save people. We don't get joy in beating other people down. We're not here for the fighting aspect of it. We're here for the protection and for the love aspect of it. So so if you keep that feeling, then you have the best potential to continue being a great hero. And then on top of that, we also had Toga has twice his blood. That's gonna be really interesting because we basically are probably gonna get one more twice moment of twice duplicating a fuck ton, but it's gonna be Toga. It's very interesting, but she has a time limit on it at least, you know. Like even though it's crazy that she's able to use someone else's powers, and she can use them to horrifying effect. At least there's a time limit based on the amount of blood she has, and it looks like she only had like half a vial of blood or whatever. So I don't think it's going to be a crazy time limit. It's not the same as if Twice was actually here, because if Twice was actually here, we'd be fucked. But yeah, anyway, that's BnHA Season 7, Episode 5. Thank you for joining me. Make sure to support this video if you can, liking, commenting, and subscribing, and go to my Patreon account for full-length early access and exclusive videos. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.